conversation. It's quite a while.
It's been a
Nhlanhla
while.
Mahlangu joins us live in studio. Normally we speak to her on the phone when she's out and about, and she joins us here today. We're focusing on the fourth session of the South Africa-Namibia Binational Commission Council of Ministers meeting, which is underway in Pretoria in South Africa. The session is being co-chaired by Namibia's Minister of International Relations and Trade, Selma Ashipala-Musavyi, and South Africa's Defence Minister, Angie Motshekga. Nhlanhla, good afternoon, and thank you for joining us on Africa Update.
Good afternoon, Lulu, and good afternoon to our listeners.
Now, tell us more about the session and what's happening.
Thank you so much, Lulu. This is the fourth session between the two countries. A number of delegates are actually attending this one, ranging from ministers, DGs who actually met on Tuesday. That was the DGs who laid the foundation for some of the discussions today. So what is happening today is that ministers are deliberating on what the DGs spoke about on Tuesday, and just them formulating the agenda for the two heads of states who are meeting tomorrow. Now, the two countries' history dates back from historical times, as you know that South Africa went through a process of apartheid, and we had some African countries that really supported the country. So essentially, what the discussions focus on today, they were just highlighting, what key achievements have been made between the two countries and what still needs to be done. Just highlighting the trade between the two countries, the partnerships between the two countries, just the mutual respect that exists between these two countries, Lulu.
Now, let's take a listen to Namibia's Minister of International Relations and Trade, that's Selma Ashipala-Musavyi.
On bilateral trade, our bilateral trade figures highlight the importance of convening the BNC at the highest level. The economies of Namibia and South Africa are deeply intertwined. Total trade between our two countries reached approximately 86 billion last year, of which Namibia exported 29 billion to South Africa against imports of 57 billion. A persistent deficit driven by structural gap between our respective industrial bases. Namibia's leading export to South Africa last year included precious and semi-precious stones and metals, ores and slag, fish and other aquatic products, and live animals, while our imports were dominated by vehicles, machinery, electrical equipment, and pharmaceuticals.
The clip that you just heard, Lulu, is the minister from Namibia who was just highlighting the trade that exists between the two countries. In between the two countries, that is, as of we speak now, there's about 75 agreements that exist that span from water to energy agreements, and we're expecting more of these agreements to be finalized during the current session between the two leaders after tomorrow's meeting. The presidents of the two countries are meeting tomorrow, and then later on in the day we also have the business delegations from the two countries are also meeting. So essentially the minister there just highlighting the trade that exists between these two countries and how they can better trade amongst each other.
And now so let's take a listen to Angie Motshekga, who is the South African Defence Minister.
The complex challenges confronting our region and the wider international community require greater solidarity, cooperation, and collective action. So our shared history and common values place upon us a responsibility to contribute actively to the peaceful resolution to conflicts and to build multilateralism and international law. Against this, we sincerely thank Namibia for her support as we lead our organization, SADC, as its interim chair, and in August, as we assume the substantive leadership and working with Namibia in our capacity as chair of SADC, we will contribute to the acceleration of regional integration, focusing amongst others on improving the region's industrialization and boosting its productive capacity, enhance the region's agricultural production to address food insecurity, including increasing intra-regional trade and infrastructure for regional integration. We will also pay attention to the development of our corridors particularly the North-South corridor.
That's South Africa's Minister of Defence, Angie Motshekga. Just take us through exactly what, her stance in representing South Africa here is.
Minister Motshekga essentially just highlighting the fact that South Africa will take over the chairmanship of SADC and how they want to continue working with other countries, Namibia included, to take the continent forward for regional integration, also to be at the forefront of discussions, throughout the continent. So it's just unfortunate that for this particular session, the media only had about 15 minutes just to sit in and just listen to the opening remarks. And then we were told to leave the room because they've got important issues to talk about. So essentially, we'll hear more of what transpired during this current session tomorrow when the two heads of states meet in the morning. We'll also be allowed for opening sessions in the morning, and then later on in the day, then they will be called in for the closing remarks and just to hear what will be the key outcomes of this particular session.
Well, Nhlanhla, it's always a pleasure chatting to you when you're out and about, and having you in studio always great. Thank you so much for joining us on Africa Update today.
Thank you so much for having me.
That's Channel Africa's senior reporter, Nhlanhla Mahlangu, joining us live in studio.
When the story moves, we move. Africa Update with Lulu Gaboo, 12 to 1 p.m. Central Africa.